Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, you know? Just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sash. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Hello, hotties of the world. Welcome back to the internet's #1 smoke sesh. My name is Hannah, your host, and I am so excited to be back with you all again on this beautiful Tuesday. Sorry if my speaking is a little fucked up today. I have the world's largest crater in my fucking mouth right now. Not to be dramatic, but it is what I do best. I have like this crazy canker sore because this past weekend has been just a little stressful. We'll get into it in a second. And for some reason, I've picked up this nasty habit of gnawing the inside of my cheeks when I'm asleep into a minced meat substance. So I have a crazy canker sore going on right now. Pro tip, if you get awful canker sores, Kanka, the medicine, it's basically like a liquid numbing bandage for your mouth. Crazy, right? Thank God we have science, but it is the only thing keeping me going at this point. But yeah, sorry if I'm like slurring a little bit. I'm not drunk. My mouth is just doing the best it can. Anyways, let's get into what I've been up to this weekend. I got this killer shirt. I felt like it was perfect for this episode. If you're an audio listener, it says Ban Mail Podcast. I am over it. I am tired. Stop giving men microphones. That is the last thing they deserve in this life. Give more girls microphones. Also, speaking of my microphone, every time I post it, everybody's like, I thought you were holding a vibrator. Yeah, girl, that's on purpose. I did fashion this microphone to basically look like a vibrator. And I'm glad I'm getting my point across because every time everybody's like, oh my God, girl, should you be posting that? It's literally a microphone. Yes, I should. Could you believe I was just raw posting my vibrator on my Instagram story? Let's get real. So this past week has been a little hectic. My boyfriend's car got stolen. The Patreon girlies know that. The day that I usually post our Patreon episode on Thursdays was the day it got stolen. So that episode came out a little later than usual. Thank you for staying patient with me, girlies. But we woke up. We both had the day off. I was like, birds are chirping. Let me stretch my arms. Let me, kiss my boyfriend good morning. The trash was extra stinky. So I was like, babe, get up. Go take the trash out, then we'll have a good day. He gets up, he puts his clothes on like a good boy, and he takes the trash out, and he comes inside and he goes, where the fuck's my car? What do you mean, where's your car? What do you mean, where's your car? It's out there. You smoke too much weed, you silly little boy. Your brain cells are really you just fried them all. I know your car's out there, silly. Let me go look outside. The night before, I had parked right behind him. So I was like, it's probably just right in front of my car. I walk out into my balcony. No car there. There's no car. No car. We go outside. We look around the block. No car at all. Where the fuck is his car? It's gone. It had been stolen bright and fucking early. Story is, around 7 a.m. from the camera footage we've gotten from our neighbors who are so incredibly kind, thank you to you guys, and from what our other neighbors had saw, 7 a.m. a dark green Challenger pulls up onto our street. And basically, from what we can tell, if you have a push to start car or a car that has a key fob that uses like a Bluetooth key fob, one that you can essentially start from inside your house, it is very common nowadays, this is what the Kia boys were basically doing, to be able to copy that signal and reprogram your car to only accept the new key that they have created. So that's basically what they did. Dark green Challenger, which was also stolen, pulls up. Two of these fucking crackheads get out of the car, create a new key, steal my boyfriend's car. It is not a nice car. I'm like, you really stole this 2013 Nissan Altima that's beat the fuck up? Like, what are you thinking? It had to have been just because it was easy to do, but what the actual fuck? And then they took off. So I spent a majority of my weekend dealing with police reports, filing, getting information. I figured I would just give you girls a heads up that if you do have a key fob or a push to start car, this is now a very, very common thing. I really did not think I lived in an area. I mean, I live in a very busy area. I live in Westport, if you guys don't know, in Kansas City. It's like the main bar scene in Kansas City. Very, very busy, but at least the neighborhood I live in, it's very old school houses, families living on my street, like very chill neighborhood, very historic neighborhood. So I was like, I don't think that would really happen around here, but best believe, gone in an instant. It took them from the video camera footage at least maybe 30 seconds for them to create a new key, get into the car, and get it out of our driveway and gone. Insane. So if you're a girly and you need to be extra careful, they have those bars that you can essentially put across your steering wheel that like locks your steering wheel in place. So even if they do get into your car, they can't essentially take it. I highly recommend getting one of those just to be extra safe. I have friends who live up in the River Market, which is another pretty busy area, lots of apartment complexes that young people live in. And my friends are like, yeah, cars have been taken pretty consistently out of our parking garage. Like, no one is safe. Make sure you're protecting yourself extra, especially this holiday season when people are fiending for a little bit of extra money. So, pro tip there. As we were dealing with that, I actually did get to do some fun things. I did have some highlights. It wasn't all bad this weekend. First of all, me and my girlfriends, we went out and we did like a double movie feature. We usually do that every holiday season around Thanksgiving. Last year, it was the newest Hunger Games back-to-back Saltburn. I have not had a movie experience quite like Saltburn in my entire life. That was peak cinema movie experience. It was absolutely bonkers, wild, insane. Everybody in the theater was just looking at each other like, what the fuck is happening? We had drank a bottle of wine in between the movie showing, so we were off a bottle of wine and an edible watching Saltburn raw in IMAX screening. Girl, that was amazing. This time around, we saw Wicked back-to-back Gladiator 2. In between, we went and got Mexican food and drank a pitcher of margaritas. So fantastic for seeing Gladiator, because like, my God, if I'm going to watch men murder each other for about 2 hours, I need to be off a little bit of that drink. But out of the two, Wicked was so good. I've never seen the play. I did not know anything about it. I've only ever seen like the original Wizard of Oz, but Wicked was fantastic. I was not expecting Ariana to do as good as she did. I thought I was going to go see the movie and be like, oh, I'm watching Ariana Grande the whole entire time. She ate that role up. Whoever played Elphaba did fantastic. The singing was incredible. I thought it was going to be cheesy from like the CGI perspective. I hate CGI. I hate bad CGI. If you're going to do it well. And they absolutely did it well. It was fantastic. I could have sat there for another 3 hours to watch the second half. I could barely get up to go for a bathroom break. I didn't want to leave. It was so good. If you're looking for a good holiday movie to see, please go see Wicked. I am now a fan. Absolutely. They have converted me. After seeing the movie, I got a call from my boyfriend that his car had been found. Oh my God. Like, what? It was gone for 4 days from us. Apparently, they had taken it for a joyride and then dumped it in the community college next to me in their parking garage. So the security officer was like, hey, your car's here. I know it's reported stolen, but like, come pick it up. There's only a little bit of damages. They did drill in the fucking handles. I think they got locked out for some reason. Like, his security system turned on randomly. Then the people who stole it got locked out and then they just had to dip. So he does have his car back now. If I'm being honest, I thought it was never going to be seen again. I've always assumed the worst, you know, because if something good happens, then it's a nice little surprise. If you just assume the worst, usually things will go better than you expect, you know? So I'm like, that car's never going to be found, or if it is, it's going to be totaled. But no, it was found. All his stuff was inside of it. I was really nervous about him losing like all of his skate stuff and all of our camping supplies and just like sentimental things that you happen to keep in your car. But he was able to recover all of that. So things are looking up. The universe had to throw us a little bit of chaos pre-Mercury retrograde to see if we could fucking handle it. And best believe we handled that shit, okay? We only lost our minds a little bit, but we were able to handle it pretty well. And I think the universe gifted us in that way, where it's like, you know what? You passed the test. Here's your car back. Also, another really fun thing that I got to do this weekend is I got to meet up with one of you girlies, a local Casey queen. Her Instagram is Kush Collective Lounge with a K. Kush with a K, obviously collective with a K as well. I'm following her on Instagram, so if you just look in my following, you'll find her. But her name's Kat. She is so talented, and she actually makes custom vintage glassware bong pieces. So she's like, hey girl, if you want to meet up in person, since I know you're in KC, you know, skip the shipping rates, like let's just meet up. I'll bring you a couple of pieces and we can chat a little bit. So we met up at the River Market, got some coffee, met another one of you cuties with her at the coffee shop. So it was so nice running into you. And she gifted me the most beautiful piece ever. Let me show you guys. I was like, you know, pink's my color. So if you happen to have anything pink, and she pulled through. It is this gorgeous wide base etched pink piece. It also comes with a topper, so you can kind of make it more of a decorative piece as well if you maybe don't want just bongs sitting around your house. So it has this really beautiful crystal topper. But oh my god, if you want to support, go check out her page. But shout out to Kat. Thank you so much. We're about to smoke out of this in a second. Not only this, but she also does candles. So she gifted me, okay, wicked theme, green and pink, a massive beautiful candle. It smells so good. And last but not least, she didn't have to do any of this. I was not expecting any of this, but she's so sweet. A rolling tray as well. Thank you, queen. I love you endlessly. The girlies who follow me are so fucking talented. So shout out to you guys. Every time I run into you guys, you're always a baddie. You're always the sweetest. You're always the kindest. You're always like so giving and just like the best energy ever. So thank you so much. Kush Collective Lounge if you want to go support her. But with that being said, let's hit this and let's get into all of your guys' questions. Cheers. That was the first time I've hit that, and that is so smooth. Oh my god.
Hey girl, first of all, love you, love the pod. I've been listening since you literally started. I just have a question about how you stay sane and grounded in the upcoming winter months, because as a Wisconsin girly, I find it really hard every year to stay grounded and not lose my fucking mind every winter. Especially now with the devastating election results, I feel like it's going to be even harder for a lot of people. So if you have any tips or tricks, would love to hear it. Love you, girl. Love everybody that listens to this pod.
Love you. Let's get into it because I've had some questions that are also very similar. I don't know if the girls are struggling this time of year, but let me offer some peace and perspective. Now, it is the week of a big holiday. 'Tis holiday season. So let's just get that fucking conversation out of the way and let's talk about some crazy family, how to handle it, how to survive holiday season if it's maybe something that you're not particularly looking forward to. Also, speaking of holiday season, I will be uploading a Thanksgiving leftover sandwich video, talk about high food, on my Instagram this week. And after Thanksgiving, I will be dropping some new merch. I know. Very cute. Not really merch, just things I've designed and really enjoy and actually use a lot. So keep an eye out for that. It will be available for holiday season, pre-Christmas. If you want to get your girlies a gift, show some love. I will actually be dropping that next week. So stay tuned for next episode and I will preview some of those things. But let me tell you how my family holidays work to probably provide you just a little bit of solace on if you also have a dysfunctional family. Here's the thing. I'm very thankful for family, love my family. Fuck. My immediate family, fantastic. Mom, dad, great. I mean, a little crazy, but they're both Geminis and I'm a Gemini, so I think I understand them, but also they drive me a little more insane than usual. Brother, fantastic. Sister-in-law, love. Niece and nephew, the sweetest angel babies on this entire planet. Now, outside of that, specifically on my dad's side of the family, it's always the dad's side of the family. You know what I mean? Even thinking about like me and my boyfriend, if we get married, it'll still be the dad's side of the family. They're just a little crazy. I mean, love them. No hate to my boyfriend's family. My dad's side of the family, a little wild. A little wild. Very, very, very white. Okay, I literally don't know how else to describe it. Catholic, straight edge. They do a lot of drinking, but they probably would look down on people who drink. Hello, I don't know. Little confusing in that sort of way. Very traditional family values. Wife stays at home and works and cooks and does whatever. So yes, best believe at the beginning of the season, there is a group chat that is created with only the women of the family, okay, talking about what we're gonna cook and what we're gonna provide. Why the hell is not one man in this conversation? Not one man. I don't want to fucking cook. I mean, actually, I love cooking, but every holiday season, especially for women growing up in these kinds of families, like, my God, it is stressful. No wonder you're drinking so much. It's a lot of pressure, okay? I also feel like I'm having to save face a little bit. It's like a performance piece. If I look at it that way, I don't lose my mind as much. I feel like when I was younger, I was always like, well, I should just be myself and everybody should accept me as who I am. Yes, love that. In an ideal world, that would be amazing. But also, I don't like being judged. So if I can avoid that and just save face a little bit, show up, not wear that crazy outfit, maybe wear something a little bit more quote unquote conservative, and just protect my peace of mind that way, fuck it. You know, I'll do it. I see them maybe 4 times a year. It is what it is. That was a hard thing for me to accept, because yeah, family should be an unconditional base value of love. I mean, once again, in an ideal world. But I understand having crazy family that you're like, how the fuck are we related? And how the fuck do I even interact with you and communicate with you? Especially in the height of this political season, where values may be a little bit more transparent than usual. It's a little extra difficult, but I have found that really taking the time to appreciate the family that I do appreciate, show up in a positive aspect, and also kind of like protect my mental health that way by focusing on myself saves me a lot of emotional turmoil and stress. You gotta set realistic expectations of what you can expect. That is the best way to kind of never be let down in life, is to really just see things for how they are with clear eyes, understand what the fuck is really in front of you, and don't expect people to change. And try to keep some emotional distance, especially if you know maybe this relationship is a little bit strained and it's just simply, there is no fixing it. If you can also focus on the positive, you know, the family that you do enjoy, the fact that you're all together, the good fucking food, try to focus on the positive qualities of family members and share some happy memories if you have them. Once again, focusing on yourself in this time instead of putting yourself aside and people pleasing and trying to appease everybody in your life. It's simply not possible. Realizing what you can and can't do for your emotional well-being and also for like self-prioritization is key to survival. Take care of your physical and mental health by eating well, sleeping well, exercising, routine, focusing on you and what makes you feel stable in your everyday life. I also feel like having an ally in a sense is really helpful, whether it's a partner, that random cousin, your mom, somebody in the family who it's like, no, we get each other. Like I at least have one person to survive in this crazy atmosphere with. Stick together. Always have a buddy, okay? And if you don't have that and you don't want to show up because you don't want to be alienated, I don't blame you. I don't think you have to completely put yourself aside in order to appease people. Holiday seasons are hard, and if you're not going to intentionally see family because of trauma they've caused you or because it's too painful or maybe they just don't hold love for you at all, girl, I get it. No one is blaming you. Sometimes you got to do what we have to do for ourselves. Also, maybe you've lost family in that sort of way, whether it's cutting them off or simply being alienated. I do think holidays can still be fun. I don't think you have to completely lose yourself in the holiday seasons or ignore them because they're too painful. When we are stuck in the past and we're stuck kind of reliving something that simply we can't exist in the now, it's always painful. But if you can create new memories, create new traditions, create new perspectives of what the holidays are for you, they can become a beautiful thing again. I had such a hard time with the holidays in the past because I was like, it's just not like my childhood. It's not how I used to view it. It's not all rainbows and ornaments and glittering and Santa. It's not that. I lost the holidays. But then you have to create your own traditions. You got to create your own excitement. You got to redefine what the holidays are to you. And it doesn't have to be connected to the past. You can create a brand new holiday tradition, brand new view of the holiday. Maybe you only do Friendsgiving with your chosen family. Maybe you kind of escape at the end of the night to go do your own thing to really just make it whole for you. Whatever brings you joy and fulfillment, that is all that this fucking season is about. Focusing on what we're thankful for, what we are mindful for, why we do enjoy life. I think that is so incredibly important. If you have a hard time grasping this concept, I have a holiday movie for you. It is probably the best holiday movie ever. My mom always forced me to watch it kind of like end of Thanksgiving, beginning of Christmas season to really put things into perspective. When I was younger, I was like, oh, black and white movie. Like, I don't fucking care. I'm not going to pay attention to this. My media rotted brain. But now, after rewatching it, I'm like, no wonder she wanted me to see this so bad. It is so inspiring. It's called It's a Wonderful Life. Oh my God. It's jaw-dropping. You'll be sobbing by the end. It is such an inspirational movie and really just takes time to put things into perspective of like, you can always find things to be thankful for. Sometimes you just have to open your eyes and really take appreciation for genuinely what you have. Stop comparing yourself. Stop putting yourself down. There is always beautiful things in your life. You just have to see them for what they are. And It's a Wonderful Life is a amazing movie to really put that into perspective. I love that movie. Talk about Letterboxd top 4. Girl, this would absolutely be in there. But yeah, Thanksgiving for me is really all about getting so incredibly high and eating as much food as I possibly can. Drinking a little bit, seeing family. My brother will come into town, so I'll get to see his family. My sister-in-law, my niece, my nephew, have a good time. Bring in some cheer in my life in that sort of way. I love being around kids. They really just put things into perspective for you and teach you once again that it is about the little things. So yeah, I am looking forward to it. Of course, there is the chaos aspect that I simply cannot control. So accepting it for what it is and going at it with the best possible mindset and positive attitude, especially towards myself, is key to survival. This year I will be cooking green bean casserole, and usually I do mac and cheese because my mac and cheese is the best. Yes, I said it. It's basically the same recipe as Teeny's mac and cheese. If you have been seeing the TikToks about her mac and cheese, listen, if you can't cook a recipe, it's because you can't cook. And I'm not blaming you, but if it's the first time you cooked, you're most likely going to do something wrong. That's okay. It's still going to taste fantastic. Don't worry about it. But recipes are kind of silly in that sense where it's like, sure, it's correct measurements like down to a T, but also like there's so much technique to it and a lot of it comes with practice. So just get in there, have a good time, and try your best. It's gonna taste good no matter what, literally, always. But if you need a good mac and cheese recipe, it's up on my Instagram. Mine is a French onion soup mac and cheese. If you don't like French onions, leave those bitches out. Just use the mac and cheese recipe, but oof, it is to die for. But I'm making green bean casserole this year because that's my personal favorite dish. And I will also be bringing an appetizer. So I'm making like a baked cranberry brie wrapped in puff pastry. Bring some crackers for dipping. Easy peasy. Love it. Probably like $5 at the grocery store. And yeah, maybe a bottle of wine for my mom personally because she's hosting this year. Oof. Good luck, girl. I love you. But yes, happy holidays. Speaking of that, let's talk about what I'm thankful for. I am so thankful for you guys. This community genuinely brings me such warmth and understanding, and I am so appreciative of every single one of you guys here, whether you've listened to it once or 1,000 times. If I have been able to provide you inspiration, I am so thankful for that. I am so thankful for the reach that I do have. Since I was a little girl, since I've always been struggling or felt alone, I've always wanted a community of my own. Being able to have that here is just genuinely like talk about the Grinch finally growing a heart. Like, it makes me so incredibly happy, especially this past weekend, going through so much stress, and kind of lost in that sort of way, even if it was just a little bit of chaos, a lot of chaos. The Patreon girlies came through, provided me just so much reassurance and love and support. And I am just, wow, this community is such a blessing to this world. And hopefully we are all able to show up not only for each other here, but also maybe learn a thing or two so we can show up better in our own lives for the people that we do love. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you endlessly. I'm thankful for my creative mind. I'm thankful for being able to have fresh eyes, to have the drive and the passion to want to do better. I'm thankful for a stable job and people who do love me, the people who show up for me. I am so thankful for my little kitty cat who moved in with me, for providing me so much love and reassurance and understanding. He is my bestie for life, and I don't know what I would do without him. I'm thankful for good food, good weed, good sex, a loving partner who sees me and understands me and shows up for me every single day, whether he wants to or not, whether I'm driving him fucking insane or not. He is so loyal and so loving and so respectful, and I am so thankful for him. I'm thankful for a body that is strong, for a soul that is strong, for a mind that is strong. I'm thankful for the values that I have that have been instilled with me. I'm thankful for the education I've received, for the books that I've read, for the media that I've consumed that has provided me inspiration, for the people before me that I've worked hard so I can learn something from them. I am just so genuinely thankful, and I think this is the most thankful I've ever been in my entire life. As you can tell, I don't know if it's the weed, I don't know if it's the Red Bull. I have been able to gain this perspective, especially being in hard times where I had zero to be thankful for, by just keeping an open mind and always consistently wanting better and more for myself, for my mind, my body, my spirit, just genuinely wanting to create good for myself. If I can do it, even at my lowest points where I thought I deserved nothing, I thought I shouldn't be here, you can get to this mindset too. You deserve it. Work hard for yourself. Show up for yourself. You can do anything that you set your mind to. Always. Always. That's the beautiful thing about life. I think I tweeted the other day, it's like sleeping peacefully knowing I have another chance tomorrow. Literally. Keep that in mind. Anyways, that was a long holiday rant, but I think especially for the people who are like me, who kind of go into survival mode, I think we all can deserve a little bit of hope right now, and hopefully I could have provided that for you today. With that being said, let's get into all of the other questions you guys have. Someone asked, do you ever feel insecure about not having a quote-unquote big girl job? I used to a lot. I think my fear of not fitting in is what drove me down paths that ultimately were just not the best for me, not paths that I could succeed in. I mean, I could pass through them, but I don't think they really helped me flourish. And that was because of my people-pleasing tendencies and wanting to have something that I felt other people thought mattered, even though if I did not give a fuck about it, at least someone else did. And then I realized, wow, that is a really soulless way to live life. And I've always really just gone against the grain. I mean, even if I was acting in tandem with it, in my brain, I was always fighting with that narrative. And finally letting myself just be free and do whatever the fuck I wanted, that really changed how things were going in my life. I started thriving more. I felt more confident. I felt more secure in what I was doing. And all of a sudden, I did not give a fuck what anybody else thought. So definitely, when I was in that transition period of fighting off the whole like societal aspects of what they require from you and parental ideals and, you know, living up to family things. Once I gave up on all of that and really just asked myself, girl, what the fuck do you want? What do you want? What the hell is your heart telling you? Okay. And I started following that kind of blindlessly, but nonetheless following it. I became so much more confident in myself and so much secure in the way I feel about myself. I also got into the real world. Okay. And I started seeing that people outside of my bubble, people outside of the like college rat race competition, like people who were honestly living in the real fucking world. A lot of those people find themselves in a situation and don't get themselves out of it, especially like being in the restaurant industry, seeing how many like full grown adults, 50-year-olds were working in the restaurant industry but acting like they were 16. The fear of not going after what my heart desired and driving myself down these avenues of success and what I desired, it felt like I had no choice. I was like, girl, we cannot be stuck here. We cannot be stuck here for the rest of our life. So I think it's really all about perspective, and you know, the more you listen from the heart, the more you really don't give a fuck. So no, I don't really care that other people don't view my job as like a big girl job. Sorry, I don't work for a corporation. Sorry, I, didn't choose the traditional path. Sorry for you for feeling sorry for me, but also I'm happy. I don't give a fuck. I'm making really good money. I am doing things that inspire me on the daily. I'm more than just surviving. I'm having a really good time, and I'm thriving more than the people who did choose that path, who did do the rat race, who are working for a company. I am just at their level. I just maybe don't have the bragging capabilities that they might have in a traditional sense of the big girl job sense. But I'm doing something really cool, and that I care more about that than anything else. Girl, I just want to live life, you know what I mean? And no hate if you want to go down a traditional path. If that's what your heart calls you to, that's what the fuck you go after. But never, ever, ever let anybody else dictate the way your life should go. Never let anybody else write your story. You're in charge of that, babe. What's your process of picking an outfit? I never know where to start. Too many clothes. So for me personally, I start with a statement piece. I love starting with a good piece that really calls out to me. Now, the thing about like having a wardrobe is 80% of your wardrobe needs to be basics, very simple basics. And then like 20% needs to be statement pieces, things that really sparkle, that really shine, that have that character. But ultimately, when you're putting on an outfit, 80% of that outfit is going to be basics, and then 20% of it is going to be statements. So you want your closet to reflect the same way. When I'm building an outfit, I start with one statement piece, whether it's like, okay, literally statement piece t-shirt, and then working from there. Or maybe it's pants. These are both kind of statement pieces. I don't know. In my opinion, leopard print is a neutral print to me. To each their own. But I started with this t-shirt and then I built around it. If I was going out, I would maybe also throw on my cheetah print fuzzy coat. Maybe I would throw on a leather jacket, which is pretty much a basic. Still lets the t-shirt pop. Very simple shoes that are going to be not super flashy but match well. If I wanted to throw on a hat, that would be also like a basic, but always start with one statement piece and then work your way around it. And if you can't build outfits, it's probably because you have too many statement pieces. This outfit would be crazy if I also had on like leather print pants and then like pink rhinestone boots and then a fuzzy blue jacket. Like it would just be overwhelming. It would be too much. If you're a too much kind of girl, go after it. Everybody has their own kind of way of building something, but I think for the general public, when it comes to building just simple everyday outfits, it is 80% basics, 20% statement. Start with the statement piece, work your way around there with basics. Maybe you can throw on another statement piece that will kind of elevate it a little bit if you're feeling a little more out there. Maybe you do all basics one day because you're just really not feeling it. Work with your mood too. I think that really has a way of influencing how you build outfits and just the way you present yourself. I mean, you see me on this podcast. Last episode, no makeup. I randomly just threw my hair in braids and a headband, threw on a comfy pair of pants and a t-shirt and called it a day. Sometimes that's all I have time for. Really flowing in the feeling of your mood and leaning into that is the best way to really go about building outfits and confidently like showcasing yourself to the world. Failing all 3 of my community college classes right now. Help, please. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I've been there. I've been there and I've gotten back up, okay? I didn't flunk out of college. When I left college, I was probably the top 1% of my class, both in nursing and in art school. But the first year I was in nursing specifically, the first year I was just in college in general, I had a really hard time transitioning and a really hard time taking on all the responsibilities while also having freedom, because I was kind of prioritizing my freedom a little too much. Okay, like freedom is great, but girl, you got to pass that class. I ended up having a pretty low GPA. I mean, not under a 2 or anything, but low enough that the nursing dean was like, girl, we can't let you continue if you don't get these fucking grades up. So when you hear that, you have two options. You either lay the fuck down and die and quit and give up on life and all this money you just spent on colleges, which I don't recommend, or you realize, oh shit, the universe saw I was struggling and called me the fuck out. Am I going to be brave and listen and stand the fuck up and get my shit together, or am I going to give up? I highly recommend getting your shit together, because there are resources in place that want to see you succeed. Whether it's spiritual or physical, I guarantee there is energy out there that wants you to succeed. Most importantly, it just has to be you. So first of all, what I would do is I would contact all your professors immediately, and apologize. Be like, you know what? This has been a really hard year for me. No excuses, though. I think you can state, that you've been struggling. I don't think you need to write a 5-page paragraph of what you've been struggling with. I think it's okay to state, obviously, grade-wise, this has been a hard class for me. This has been a hard year for me. I've just been struggling in general. I have realized that maybe I need to put some more effort into this moment now. Is there any way that you can help me, or maybe give me tips, or maybe help me configure to see what the best possible outcome of a grade is? Is there any way I can meet with you, set up office hours, explain to them, and also ask them if you can work together to maybe set a game plan? What do I need to do to get this grade up in this class? What are ways that you have seen students in the past succeed in this class? What are they doing? You can ask your professors these things. They should want to work with you. If they have office hours, babe, that's literally for them to work with you. Now, I don't think you can sit there and be like, fix this for me, give me the plan. I think you should have a plan on your own, but also it's okay to double check your plan with somebody who is especially writing the grades for you. So I would do that. I would then also, if you're going to lose your scholarship, there should be a financial advisor for you that you are assigned at your school. If you don't think it's one, contact your school counselor, whoever's been assigned to you, ask you if you have a financial aid officer, and then talk to them. Be like, hey, I'm really struggling right now. I understand my grades and my GPA are not where they need to be. I want to make sure that I'm not going to lose my scholarship, or if I am about to, I want to let you know that I'm putting so much work and effort into this last portion of school. If there's any way I can prove to you, that I am deserving of a second chance, please let me know. I had to do that, and they gave me another chance. They gave me another semester to get my grades up, and I got that scholarship back immediately, okay? Ask people for help. There are people who want to help you. There are people whose jobs they're literally being paid to help you. Seek their resources, okay? Contact your teacher aide, contact your friends, be like, girls, get the fuck together. I need to study. I need to get this shit together. Go to the library for 12 fucking hours. It's going to suck, but good things are not easy. If you want better for yourself, you're going to be elbow deep in the fucking mud, crawling your way out of the trenches. It's not going to be skipping through a meadow picking flowers. I promise you that. So get the fuck up. Understand, I deserve better. I want better for myself, and go the fuck after it. Okay. I really had to come to that mindset, because I was like, well, yeah, I guess I could lay down and die. That would be the easy thing. Why not just stop showing up completely? And then I realized, wow, what a pussy ass thing to say. What? I'm being such a bitch right now. Are you kidding me? You're just gonna give up. You're just gonna give up. That really, I had to, Gemini mindset. I had to have that conversation with myself. Girl, this is lame of you. This is a little embarrassing. You better get the fuck up and at least finish the fucking race, okay? And I guarantee you can finish strong. I guarantee you can finish faster than you thought you could at the beginning. So do your best. Seek out your resources that have been provided for you. Talk it through. Set a game plan. But do not lay the fuck down and die. I didn't raise you that way. Starting to realize if there's one thing men have, it's the audacity. Yeah, that's why I tell a lot of you guys here, to start acting like a man, like dead ass. I think you need to realize that the world is at your fingertips. Men are just born with this innate nature of knowing that. Women are born with this feeling of like, I owe something. I don't know why. Anyways, I need you guys to start behaving like a man. I need you guys to start realizing, no, this is my life. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Literally, women in men fields. You know that hashtag on TikTok? I mean, not as evil. Please don't give yourself to the evil side. But please understand, like, you do have a choice in things. That you can tell people to fuck off. That you don't have to behave a certain way. That you can go after whatever the fuck you want. Please develop the audacity, practice it. Think about the worst man in your life and like not show up as him, but get a little bit of that courage. Ask yourself, like, why did he feel okay to do those things? And give yourself permission to do those things as well. Silly episode today. I kind of loving it. What a good vibe episode. How to lock back in on the self-care grind. I've fallen out pretty heavy. It happens. I had a week a couple weeks ago where I was like, I don't think I've brushed my hair in a couple days. Oof. It gets that way. It does. Life gets overwhelming. Emotions get overwhelming. Sometimes you fall off the bandwagon, but I want you to understand, like, that's a part of life. It's going to happen. And the sooner you realize that, the easier it is to be able to get back on track. The easier it will be for your brain to be like, okay, I guess I'll get up today, you know? And especially this winter season, I think it's important to act in tandem with nature. Like, all the trees are losing their leaves. They're going inwards. They are focusing on self and preservation and rest. The animals are doing so as well. I feed the squirrels every day, girl. They are so fat. They have developed so much fur. They're preparing themselves for winter. They're taking care of themselves. They're rebuilding their nests. That's what we need to be doing right now as well. Self-care during this time is a peak way to really develop as a human and to ultimately come out in spring as your best self. I am telling you right now, it is time to get selfish. I am giving you permission to be selfish this season. Look inwards, take accountability for who you are. Ask yourself, what do I like about myself? What do I not like? What do I want to change? Who do I want to become? Look at that dream version of yourself or the things that you've saved on Pinterest and ask yourself, how can I make this my daily life? How can I integrate this into my life? How can I be that girl? I actually just wrote about this on Patreon, talking about having a winter arc. I feel like that's such a male podcast term, winter arc. Like, I'm going to turn evil over winter. No, that is not what's happening. I just want us all to have the time of self-preservation and self-development so we can come out in spring as a better, more rounded, hotter, sexier version of ourselves, both mentally and physically. So in my winter arc, I have a couple tips for you guys. First of all, I think if you're really trying to take priority of your life, start by making a list of all the areas in your life you might have neglected this past season. If you've fallen off the self-care bandwagon, ask yourself, where have I kind of given up? Is it academics? Is it family? Is it career? Is it money? Is it friendship? Ask yourself why. What is the roadblock you are facing in this area? Why did you stop? Is it because you just didn't have any motivation? Did you have any hardships come up? Have you just been not thinking about it? Ask yourself why. But specifically, I want you to write down the areas in your life that you maybe want to improve on. From each area, write down 3 real actions you can take to elevate that area of your life, to get back on track. So maybe it's the self-care, the wellness aspect. Maybe I'm going to work on eating healthier, more whole foods. Maybe I'm going to focus on really having a self-care routine at the end of the day, a good shower routine that makes me feel refreshed, renewed, working on the morning routine to make sure I'm getting all my vitamins, my minerals, brushing my teeth. Maybe it's money, okay? So I'm going to focus on setting a budget for myself, getting realistic about how much money I make and getting realistic about how much money I spend, setting goals according to weekly spending, monthly spending, setting goals according to saving. Maybe it's family or friendship. Maybe I'm going to set goals of, okay, once a week I want to hang out with friends. I need to reach out to this person who I haven't talked to in a while, and let me plan one way that I can celebrate these friendships in my life. Write down 3 reasonable actions you can take, and then every week or every 2 weeks, Set a goal to accomplish one of those things on your list. Now, here's the part in which you do this, how you find motivation. I know most of you guys talk about phone addiction. When you find yourself there scrolling endlessly on your phone and you have that realization of, what the fuck am I doing? I don't even want to be scrolling. I'm just kind of doing it because it's here, but I'm bored. Like, I need to do something with my life. Pick up this fucking list and do one of these things. Yes, use that as motivation. Now you have no excuses. When you find yourself in that moment, pull up the fucking list and do something. It will give you more purpose in your life than TikTok. Okay? It will give you actually meaning to what a life is, to have a life, to experience life. And you will escape the holds that social media might have on you. Last but not least, I do think you need a bare minimum routine. You need a bare minimum that you do every single day or maybe every week. Something that you have in your daily, weekly routine that keeps you on track, even if you are doing the bare minimum. There is no more doing nothing, but at least you can do the bare fucking minimum. You know what I mean? So my bare minimum routine would be like getting up at a decent time. I mean, sleeping in a little bit if I need it, but getting up at a decent time, brushing my teeth, drinking water, eating a good breakfast or a good meal to get me on the right track. Outfit, I don't give a fuck about outfit. Wear whatever you need is comfortable. That's not like a necessity in my life, but maybe it is in yours, is putting yourself together. I at least brush my hair and do something with it. Doing my necessary daily tasks of work, feeding myself, maybe starting some laundry if I'm feeling up to it, and then having a good wind down routine of, you know, taking care of my body, taking care of myself, feeding myself, doing my daily stretches, at least getting to the gym once a week, maybe twice or 3 times if I'm feeling up to it, but bare minimum once. The necessities that you need in your life to keep it on track, that's your bare minimum routine. Because I get it. It's okay when you have no motivation, when you don't want to fucking do anything, when you're suffering from something, maybe physically, mentally, whatever it is. The best thing you can do in that moment is at least do the bare minimum. By doing this, you will keep motivation rolling as you stick to your routines. You will feel more in control of your routines. You will feel more one with your life. You won't feel like life is escaping you or you're missing out on anything because that motivation is continuing. This is how I truly stay on track. This is how I don't fall off the wagon. It does take self-discipline, and it's going to, ebb and flow in energy. You're not always going to have the energy to act at 100%. I get that. But riding the roller coaster of your emotions and of life and understanding that there are ups and downs will help you stay on track and help that motivation roll as well. But I love you. It happens. I also think the best way to really jumpstart into that mindset is just to have a good little self-care moment. In whatever ways that you enjoy self-care. Maybe you're a crazy person who loves the gym. Girl, get into the gym. Fuck it. Maybe you like your physical self-care. Throw on a face mask and watch your favorite movie from childhood. Maybe take a bubble bath. Maybe you really enjoy a good meal, so you take a moment to cook yourself a really healthy, delicious meal and just devour it at the end of the night in front of a good YouTube video. Like, I don't know what your self-care is. It's all valid, but having that one teensy tiny little activity or routine that does bring you joy is a great way to jumpstart you into this mindset of handling the big ideas, the big things in life. But I love you. 'Tis the season, okay? Like nature and the trees, we need to also turn inwards during this time and take care of ourselves, really focus on ourselves. I think it's important.
I love your pod. I hope your week's going good. How do you be careful about being codependent with your significant other? Like, what are some ways to feel independent when you do spend a lot of time with someone? Anyways, love you. Bye.
Okay, that was short and sweet. So I honestly just recommend, I hate to say alone time. We are both alone kind of cats. We love our time together, absolutely. But I think we both get a little crazy if we spend too much time together because we like doing separate things and we feel like we're not fulfilling that side of ourselves when we're together. Not that we don't support it. It's just he likes to go skateboard. I'm not going to go skateboard with him. Sorry. Love you, babe. Go out on the streets and do your skateboarding things with your friends. I don't care. Also, I like to do art and simply just be alone sometimes. And I unfortunately can't do that around him. I mean, I can do art around him, I guess, but the alone thing is a little bit hard. So we genuinely prioritize individual growth in different areas that we may not be the same in. Like, we really support and promote that individualness in each other. And also we support alone time, doing our own hobbies, being separate. But yeah, I think just supporting each other's individual qualities and making time to be alone is very important to break that codependency issue. Also, if you have codependency, really focus on like how you're spending time together. Elevate that time you're spending together. So maybe if you don't spend a lot of time together, it's at least the time you do spend together that's super romantic. You're not just like on the couch every day on each other's phones, like completely ignoring each other. It's like, no, let's take time to put our phones down, to go out to dinner, to share a bottle of wine, to love each other in that sort of way, or to go do an activity together. You know, go on a real fucking date. So the time that we do spend together feels so enthralling that we feel more confident spending time alone and spending time away from each other. We feel safer in that sort of way. Me and my boyfriend are both like freaks, codependent freaks too. He's a Scorpio, so he's like in love. I'm a Gemini, so when I'm in love, I'm in love. And like if I could be surgically attached to him, I would, but I understand like that's just not healthy. It's not gonna promote our best individual qualities the best it possibly can. So giving space, giving time, and having separate hobbies. I think you should have hobbies in your relationship. I think specifically you should have hobbies that don't include your partner in your relationship. I think my parents' relationship succeeded so well is because they were both working in a school district, but my dad loves coaching and he loves track, he loves basketball. So like he was always coaching sports and at practice until like 8 or 9 o'clock. My mom was really involved in the school board and making sure that teachers were seen and heard and providing support in that sort of way. She felt very passionate for the students and for the teachers. So she was always there after school at meetings, showing up to school board meetings, showing up for parents, for teachers in any sort of way possible. So they weren't getting home until very, very late. The time they did spend together was like weekends if my dad didn't have practice or my mom didn't have something off, and then obviously summer breaks. But they didn't have a lot of time to spend together at the end of the day. But the time they did spend together, it's like as soon as they saw each other, they greeted each other with a big hug, they talked about their day, and then they did something together. I think that really promoted their individuality. I think it really helped that relationship keep that spark and to stay strong. Obviously, I don't know their relationship fully, but from what I viewed as a child, it was very inspiring. And I felt like I didn't have a lot in my past relationships because I didn't have that kind of relationship until now. Now I see it for what it is. Now I see that individuality is important, that codependency really keeps people from being themselves, and that relationships should not be 50-50. It should be two whole people coming together at the end of the day to uplift and support each other the best that they possibly can, and to not take those moments for granted. Also, codependency in the past for me personally has been mostly influenced by the trust that I had for my partner. If I felt like I had no trust for my partner, then my codependency was at an all-time high. I felt like I had to constantly be aware of what they were doing or worried about what they were doing because I had no trust for them. They obviously gave me no reason to trust them. I don't know why I did trust them, probably because of the manipulation. But I think it's important to ask yourself in a relationship, is my codependency caused by a fear of not being with them, or is it caused by a fear of them not being with me? You know what I mean? You gotta have trust for your partner. It really, really helps with the codependency problem. It's so funny. I think humans really think we are other than, or like we're not a part of nature, but we are as natural as the animals themselves. We're nothing different than the animals. I don't know why we think we're this exclusive being. Of course, we kind of are, but like, let's not get an ego about it. We are still fucking animals. We're still from nature, from this earth. So why do we run away from it? There are lessons here to be learned and things that the earth and nature that can teach us. And I think listening to those things and really getting real about it has such a grounding quality and has such a healing quality. So if you're feeling like overwhelmed and you need a fucking day and you need to focus on yourself, Yeah, it's because you do need to. Nature is telling you, 'tis the season. It's the time of the year where we need to be looking inwards. I was talking about this with my boyfriend the other day. Like, why do humans think we're other than nature? Specifically in the ideals of like, so many men think they're straight. But like, if you think about it, there is not one animal out there that is 100% straight. So why the fuck do we think we are? Like, most animals are gay as fuck, if you think about it. Like, that's normal to them. A lot of animals have both kinds of sexual organs, like hermaphrodites, so they can, you know, work with what they got in nature. It's a survival tactic. Why do we think we're different? Why do we put these ideals on us as if we're not a part of nature? Girl, you're gay as fuck and it's okay. So high, I almost started talking out loud with no mic in my hand. Girl, they can't hear you. Someone asked, is it a red flag when men hate Taylor Swift? Yeah, I think it's a red flag when any man holds space in his heart for so much hatred towards a woman. Like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? That's actually insane and psycho. What's wrong with you? Women, I get it. We've been oppressed by men for such a long fucking time. Like, go ahead. You can hold space in your heart for hate. But like a man unnecessarily hating a woman for nothing other than simply being a woman or being seen publicly often as a woman is crazy to me. It's crazy. And quite honestly, mostly just misogynistic. Like, there is no reason for you to hate that girl so much. I know Taylor Swift never did anything publicly to you or to you personally. So what is this real hate you actually have in your heart? Oh, she's too much. She's on my football too much. Girl, I live in Kansas City, okay? A Chiefs is what runs this fucking city. I go to a bar every single time there's a Chiefs game on. I watch that game. I haven't seen her face at all. Like, I don't know what you are complaining about. Actually, I do. I think you just hate women and you can just be honest about it. Like, I wish more men were forward about, like, you just hate women. Just say it out loud. Say it out loud. Just say it out loud, okay? Because then most girls will know to get the fuck away from you. God. Sorry, this Red Bull has me, worked up. Red Bull truly does give you wings. Sponsor me. You guys can send photos in the questionnaire I post on Instagram every week. If you've never listened to this podcast, it's the first podcast you're hearing. I post the questionnaire for the week where I get all these questions on my on my Instagram at Hannah Marlene. I post it every Sunday. So if you want to hear your question or you want to submit a call in, I love hearing your voice. Some girl just sent a picture of her flexing in the gym mirror, and you know what? Thank you, queen. You absolutely have massive biceps and I am genuinely impressed. Someone asked, what's the strongest edible you've taken milligram wise? I don't actually have the math on it, but if I were to guess, in college, to make money, if you're a broke college student, this is how I made money in college. I was befriending all of the student athletes who had never had any time to do anything, and B, had a lot of money and no desire to do the things that they had to do. So I wrote all of their student papers for them. And the thing about writing papers for student athletes who genuinely aren't trying in their classes is you just have to get like a low B. Like, they're pretty happy with a low B. So I was writing student papers for like $100 a pop. I think the most I made off a student paper was $300, and it was like a 10-page paper or something. So if you can simply put sentences together in a concise matter, sell papers, okay? Write papers for people. Also, not to indict myself, it was a long time ago. A long time ago. I was making and selling edibles also to the student athletes, which is pretty funny. But I would say each brownie that I made had about, say, at least 100 milligrams. So they weren't like potent, but I was definitely like, okay, just take a bite or like cut it into fourths to eat the edible. So I once ate a whole pan, which is probably about 8. And I would say the edibles range from like 1 to 200, you know, home cooked. There is no preciseness to it at all. So I at least ingested 800 to 1,000 milligrams of THC. And the walls were turning upside down. Yeah, I was basically standing upside down from what I could tell. I was hallucinating. I literally thought I was standing up at the sink, meticulously opening up my contact case, gripping onto the walls, barely taking out my contacts and putting them into my contact case and somehow stumbling and managing to find the bed again and lay down. No, that didn't happen at all. I took my contacts out and put them on the pillow next to me. Yeah. That's why I'm a big proponent of like more is not always better, especially when it comes to your substances. Please learn rationing. Right now, I love my little 10 or less edible. Like, I don't want to be so uncomfortably high the walls are spinning, babe. And you can make it a competition, whatever you want. Like, I am just not a size queen kind of girl. I am not a high milligram edible kind of girl. I like to enjoy my time here on earth. And listen, I've done my duties. I've tried everything. And yeah, that's why I don't really even take edibles that much. But if I am, it's like 10 or less. Speaking of substances, in another great movie, someone asked thoughts on The Substance. I need Hannah's review. The Substance was another great movie. I watched it with my boyfriend. About halfway in, he looks at me, specifically the scene where she's literally growing another human out of her body and her spine is breaking in half and she's splitting in half. Yes, it is body horror. If you don't like body horror, do not watch this movie. A great commentary on just like being a woman. Fantastic movie. I am in love with Miss Margaret. But he looks over at me during that scene. He goes, I'm not feeling so good. All of the blood was drained out of his face. He was like about to pass out. I'm like, babe, you can just say you can't handle the movie. He doesn't really get that way. It's just there's so many needles in the movie and just the body horror in general. I'm like, you could never be a woman. I had to laugh though. I was like, poor thing's like it's just slumping over. I'm like, LOL. But yeah, great movie if you need a good horror watch this season.
Hi Hannah, love the pod. So I'm Portuguese, so please excuse my accent. I will be switching majors. I'm in uni, and so I'll have to stop uni for 6 months. And I was wondering if you had any advice on what I should do during those 6 months. Because I want to make money and I want to work, but I also want to learn and better myself. And I would like some kind of flexible job so I can travel maybe a little bit. Yeah, I guess that's it. Any advice? Love you so much. Bye.
Oh, love you, queen. Okay, good to know that we all kind of go through the same problems no matter where we live. This is a very normal thing to go through, especially with college nowadays where they only offer certain courses during certain semesters. So you do kind of have to wait or have a gap if you want to change majors. It's okay. Don't lose all hope. Stay on track. Keep it pushing. But if I were you, I don't know what waitresses make where you are. For me personally, here in America, the best way to have a very flexible job that does allow travel, that does, promote making more money than maybe an hourly wage is through tip-based work. So I love being a waitress, especially if you're in college or you do need the flexibility and you're young. It is a great way to make money and also network a little bit, chit chat, have a fun job while you're younger. I also think when you're in a transition period, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, maybe a week, I think it's important to really make a game plan and to look forward and tell yourself, okay, no, this is what I'm gonna do. This is my plan. I'm taking 6 months, and then once I reach this place, I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna get an internship. I have a plan ahead. So when you finish those 6 months, you do still have the motivation and the desire to persevere through that degree. Maybe it's researching and applying for different internships in your area. Maybe it's researching and applying for different opportunities or different maybe simple classes you can take in this time off. So it's not like you're stopping your studies. You are just diverting a little bit before you get back on track. The best thing during a time of downtime and an in-between phase is to have a plan and stick to the plan so you can keep that motivation and you don't get lost asking yourself, well, what am I doing? Maybe I'll change this path. Maybe I'll, find a new path because I didn't make the one that I truly wanted clear enough. Know what you want, know what your heart desires, go after it. But yeah, when it comes to jobs, I would say waitressing job, tip-based job. It'll offer a lot of flexibility and pretty good pay. Utilizing a job where you maybe talk to a lot of people and networking that way is fantastic. Continuing studies and maybe a different course. Maybe you just take one class that just genuinely interests you in these 6 months versus no classes. Or you get an internship during this time. Simply applying for internships, making connections that way. Or if the jobs in your area do allow you to work in a field in which you're going to be studying soon, apply for those jobs, try them out, see if you like them, but most importantly, have a plan, keep your dream alive, and follow that motivation. Anyways, that is all the questions we have for today. I know this episode was so fun. Thank you all so much for being here. I had a great time as always with you all. Thank you for being my sesh partners, for traveling through this silly little thing called life together. Hopefully we can provide a little peace for each other, especially during this chaotic time. Very chaotic. I will update you on how Thanksgiving goes next week. I will also have new merch available for you guys, and much more. We have a Mercury retrograde coming up. We have a lot to talk about, ladies, and I want to hear from every single one of you. We didn't have a lot of call-ins this week. I want to hear your voice, okay? Keep it concise. Get to the point. I got you. We can get through it together. But I love hearing from your guys' voices and hearing what's on your mind. If you want to submit your question, I upload the questionnaire every Sunday on my Instagram at Hannah Marlene. If you want your question answered every single week, I answer all questions on the Patreon for the Patreon only podcast every single Thursday. I also upload a bunch of spiritual Sunday tips. I upload Monday manifestations. We do a bunch of astrology work on there. General, just motivational advice and questions that can be answered more thoroughly over on the Patreon, patreon.com/smoke-shoddy. But you guys know where to find me. I love you all so very much. Let's smoke one for the road, and I will let you guys go. Cheers, my girlies. Stay sane this holiday season. Create your own memories, okay? You are in control of your own narrative, and every day we wake up, we have another chance to start anew. So you are never lost. You can always find yourself again, and create whatever you want from this life. We are the narrators of our own universe, and I want you to have that audacity and to go after everything your heart desires. You are truly deserving of it all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Stay sexy, stay sane, and I will see you all next week. Mwah!